I would be keen to know what's your name, what's your company called, and what kind of manufacturing services do you offer?
So, hi Ludwig. My name is Sam Gribben. I'm the director of SGD3D. So, we were originally founded in 2018 as sort of like a spin off project, as like in a startup centre in Nottingham Trent University, where we had a bit of funding came in back from that. And then after that, our sort of like business has snowballed, effect gone from there. So, what we do is we offer additive manufacturing or 3D printing services based in the East Midlands area of the UK. But we don't just serve the UK, we serve the whole of Europe and worldwide. We offer a number of different 3D printing services, including SLS, SLA, and FDM 3D printing. Our main sort of niche where we specialize is obviously mainly doing like the peak 3D printing or the nylon SLS peak 3D printing. And we serve a number of different sectors. This includes aerospace, defense, nuclear, that we specialize in quite very detailed technical projects, and we pride ourselves on that, where we feel like these are the ones where people struggle to get CNC machined, they struggle to get manufactured, and they say, hey guys, we've got a really interesting project, we're struggling to manufacture ourselves, can you help and step in? And that's where we like to offer our deliverables.
That's really, really cool, very inspiring as well. And what is one of the biggest pain points that you solved with Phasio?
So engineers are lazy. They love, the thing is though, they don't want to spend hours on the phone calling up, going onto emails, chasing up suppliers, doing the old school route. I've had to do that, and I've had to do it last week when I'm having to contact some companies trying to get quotes for casting. It's an absolute nightmare. And that's the biggest pain point is, you're an engineer, you want to get your project started. You don't want to be having to, go behind paywalls to try and get a quote, which you may get 24, 40 hours later. You want to have instant pricing there and then. So the big pain point that Phasio helped to solve is that you can literally check out within a couple of clicks. You can upload your file. It will give you recommendations based on your file geometry if you want to use any AI-based tools, or if you want to use like our self-help directory to help you to select the correct material or process. You can go through it yourself, and it's as easy as using websites such as eBay, Amazon, other e-commerce websites. It's just as simple as that. There's no messing around, there's no paywalls, everything is completely upfront and transparent. You get an instant quote, you get an instant lead time when it's going to be delivered by, and you know exactly how much it's going to cost.
Can you mention any measurable results that you had? Something like time saved or quote turnaround or whatever that may be.
So as we've been trading for a number of years, we've used a number of different services, number of different quoting services, whether that's doing manual quotes yourself via like Excel as you're starting off early, which didn't work, whether you're using like WooCommerce plugins or WordPress plugins, which again, the issue with that is that you have bottlenecks as you start to grow, you get database issues, you start to get issues with pricing. And the thing is, it starts to slow down the customer experience because it takes them a very long time to upload the file and get a price back. You sometimes have other sorts of issues that are going on. So the big thing, important thing for us, it's the speed of quoting, being able to handle huge amount of files where a customer can almost drag like 80 files in one big go. Yes, it'll take quite a long time to quote, but compared to other solutions out there in the market at the moment, it's far, far quicker than anything that's out there at the moment. So I think that that's the real impression that we've had from that as well. We've seen since fully jumping into Phasio over the last 18 months, we've seen at least a 50% increase in online sales and in terms of sales volume as well. So it's massively improved for us as well.
That's great to hear. And in terms of the setup and support that you received, how was the setup phase of Phasio and what's your impression of their support?
Absolutely fantastic. So from the get go, Ludwig and the team at the Phasio have been really supportive. We've already come with that plethora of like experience of like knowing what calculations you can export out. So we're not an early doors manufacturer where somebody who's just set up shop, they don't understand these quoting engines and the logics that you can use. We came in with quite complex tasks and instructions, and the team like Ludwig and Harry were really informative and saying, listen, this is what we can do, this is how we can help you, these are the logic that you can use to help you give out really accurate pricing. And as most manufacturers know, your pricing equations constantly are changing with the ever-changing environment and scope of everything that's going on at the moment. and it's really easy to use as well. The logic of being able to give, like, one thing that we found, especially with like the use of AI tools, is that we can literally copy and paste the coding into AI. We can help it decide logic and then run it by you guys. The back end for setting up the front end, incredibly simple to use. There's no complicated coding logic behind it. It's just out the box. You can pretty much upload your logo, put in your basic information, and you're ready to go. If you've got a simple equation, you can use the basic starter equations if you need to. But if you've got more complex equations like we did, it doesn't take long to get set up. I'll probably say you could probably start set up in a couple of days.
And who would you recommend Phasio to, and why?
I definitely recommend it to any 3D printing service bureaus that are wanting to take themselves seriously out there in the moment of the market. As we know, especially in the UK, a huge amount of resources are spent on wages and bills. This as a quoting engine takes away that need for an estimator or somebody to go in there and calculate prices, go there. What it does is it reduces friction as well between you and the customer as well, because you don't want to start off an early point of the relationship by, waiting 24, 48 hours to issue a quote because you're too busy at the time. Phasio is always working in the background. Like, I still now to this time, when I'm checking my emails late at night, I see them coming in saying, oh, look, we've had an order coming in. That's the website working in the background. It's constantly delivering sales to you. Whereas if you're working on your own time scale between 9 to 5, you're only able to send up quotes between 9 to 5. This is working 24/7, all the time, constantly getting orders. The reason why I like using Phasio and using tools like you guys as well is you're constantly evolving it as a software, as in a program. It's not just, okay, we're done with it, 80% of the build done, it's mediocre, we're happy with it, we'll roll up the next upgrade that goes. You're always listening to customers' feedback, you listen to exactly what's going on, you're constantly doing coding sprints to try and deliver the best software package out there at the moment. Compared to the initial software that I saw in 2020, it's come on leaps and bounds, and compared to other software providers as well, the support is just top notch. The thing is, I'm never going to say it is 24/7, but the thing is, usually if I send an email or send a reply, I'll get a reply. Definitely will get a reply back within a couple of hours on a weekend. And I go, any other sort of software provider, you wouldn't get it until Monday comes in. And I go, and if it's being run as a 24/7 sales tool, when you're losing out on sales on the weekend because something's gone down for a silly reason, if you're able to get an instant answer and implement that change there and then, it's massively improvement.
Yeah, awesome. And how would companies and service bureaus that are interested get their hands on Phasio?
So the easiest way to do it is actually go onto their website and you can sign up for a free trial. So there's no need to go behind any paywalls, any sort of information. You can go on there, you can trial the tools that's on there. Another way that you can also do it as well is have a look at trusted partners that Phasio currently work with. Look at the ways they're implementing Phasio, how they're doing it. Get inspiration. Write down, say, I want my point of sales tool to do this, this, this. I can see that companies like SGD are doing it. How do I get my business to get those same sort of quotes out to my customers? And the thing is, though, as well, is compared to other sort of like software packages as well, we found the pricing to be incredibly attractive, especially for like businesses that are starting off. You're not sitting behind a huge paywall. If you're like you've got to sign on for a 24-month contract up front. That was a big one seller for us, is there. But then also you're not lumped with a huge task at the moment. So a lot of businesses are trying to do DIY solutions, whether they're trying to implement stuff like doing like vibe coding, using AI to help them write their own tools. The thing is, this completely takes all the stress and barriers away from it, because you guys are the pros. You know what you're doing. You're basing it on customer experiences and feedback, and you know that you're delivering a solid solution where it's not going to go down in the middle of the night. It's not going to be leaving your customers high and dry. You know that you're going to be able to, and it's your name and branding. It's your reputation. You're putting it on the website. You want to make sure that it's delivering the results which you want it to deliver.
Awesome. Man, Sam, you're a bloody legend. Did someone say that to you?